Hi everyone. I'm hoping you're having a absolutely marvelous Friday morning. It's 6:45 and I'm up already at work. And I was thinking, wow, it is such a beautiful day out. And what I realized is that there are so many of us that wake up to rainstorms and some people think, well, I don't want to go out in the rain. It's going to make me wet and I'm going to be cold and I'm going to get to work and look like a hot mess. And there are other times that we wake up and we go, "Oh, it's raining. Thank you for the watering because it's been so dry." And I thought we're really not in our positive flow, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because positivity is what we really need to be doing right now. We need to be looking at the world and saying, "Yeah, there are people that are out of my control that are making some really big decisions in this world that affect the world." And there's nothing that I can do, but that's really not true. You have the light within you, or you wouldn't be watching this video. You have the power within you to reshape and change the world as you would like to see it. So every time that we listen to bad news or tumultuous activity around us and we're watching it, what the best thing to really do with that is to say, you know what, I can change this with my energy. I can change this with my approach, my thought, how I react to it, instead of acting in a negative way and telling people to hush and you're stupid and all the negative connotations that name calling and judgment ensues. We can be approaching it like, wow, they're really going through some tough times. And maybe if I was going to be doing anything right now, I would go ahead and I would change my vantage point and say, hey, I'm going to send you a ton of love and just sit for a moment and feel that love emanating from you. When we do this, we change the way the world reacts to us. We change the way of the people that we draw to us. So instead of getting more angry people because we're resonating out anger, the law of rhythm, the law of vibration, the law of conservation, all of those universal laws work in unison together to bring us to a higher level of awareness. And when we're looking at this in a way that we think we don't have any control, that's just not true. That's what they want you to believe. The world, the people who have control over the powers that be, the money, the concepts of war, all of these things are all created by those that want us to be subservient, live in fear, have anxiety. They can sell us pills. They can make us do impulse buying. Somebody told me yesterday therapy shopping because I was like, oh, I need to go shopping, but it's not one of my favorite things to do because the energy around clothes shopping can be pretty intense. So I stall for years at a time if I can. But I thought, she's right. It is therapy, and I can do therapy on others. I can go in and do shopping in a positive, more relaxed version of who I am. And I can bring this, some great sales to me. I can move through this energy of doing the things that I don't want to do with a lot better attitude. These are the things that meditation brings us. This is what intuition brings us. This is owning our power. Instead of handing it off to people, and what I mean by people is that we're always looking for somebody to rescue us. We're always looking for somebody to come in and fix things for us. And that's not how life really works because nobody can fix it for us. We have to recognize what it is that we're thinking so that we understand what we're creating so that we can change those patterns and come into a higher level of connection, a little deeper sense of self, and start healing those traumas. Instead of looking at somebody, I do, I scroll through different social platforms and I'm always amazed at the people who are, I can get a message to you from your spirit guides, or your guide came to me and told me this, or they're telling you only I can fix it. Well, the word in their I kind of tells you they're coming from ego and that they're not giving you the power that you justly deserve. You can find a mentor, you can find somebody who's willing to work with you that will show you how much beauty, love, and power that you have within you. You have these same gifts that I do, you have the same knowing. We're not any different, but our story that we tell ourselves, that's what's different. And I had to work through my story. Of course I did. I was raised in a nice little Italian family where I was told that you go to college to get your MRS degree, which horrified me. I thought, what? How's my father telling me that my mind is no good? All of a sudden, you've got to study hard. You've got to make something of yourself, and only to be told at 17, you have to go to college to get your MRS degree. And I thought, how invalidating that was in those days. As a result, I finally got married. And when I did get married, it didn't last long because it wasn't me. I was doing it for what I was taught was protocol for women. And after that, I did a lot of things that wasn't in protocol. And that led me to some deeper understandings of power and strength that I have. I did my own research into different areas of metaphysics, and I found that the best area to come from is heart center. The most productive to change my life and to heal who I was heart center. And what that was is that I had to finally accept that I was the one creating the situations in my life that I didn't like. And the only way to stop creating them is to quit telling myself the dialogue of I wasn't good enough, or I have to work hard for my money, or life's a bitch and then you marry one. I mean, these were all things that we laughed about, but we didn't realize that we had been telling our cellular structure negative thoughts and patterns and instilling in them, and then relying on some outside source from us to teach us how to do it differently, or here, let me do the work that gets rid of that person. Well, if you haven't healed the issue of, let's say, abandonment, if you haven't healed that issue, the person that you're with is going to keep bringing it to you. And then all of a sudden you're done, you're over with them, you moved on, and you're going through your life, and that's marvelous. But you draw another one that is worse, and they help you heal your issue. And then it's time to cut cords. And, you can just be done with that person, but that doesn't mean you healed the issue. So cutting cords is absolutely not beneficial because you haven't learned what it is that's drawing you to that situation. And the situation is what you need to cut cords with, not the people. You need to start saying, wait, what am I learning here? What am I telling myself here? What am I creating and bringing to myself here in order to learn that I don't need to be abandoned, that I am worthy of having friends and family and lovers and relationships, or whatever it is that your heart desires, a good job. Because abandonment issues can come out in various ways where you continually lose jobs. I got laid off from the mines. I got laid off from a construction company. I got laid off from like 3 or 4 companies, not because my work wasn't good, because I knew I was good at my work, but because I didn't feel worthy of it, because I'd lost everything so repeatedly. So why not lose the job? Why not continue telling myself about abandonment, that I wasn't good enough to have something valuable? And I realized it's silly. And when I changed my dialogue, I became a alternative healthcare practitioner, had a marvelous career, 25 plus years, and only recently gave it up, not to do this work, but in conjunction with this work, but because it was COVID. And I was like, maybe I need to switch dialogues, and I needed to go and start teaching metaphysics. And that just started healing my spirit. It was So I worked in conjunction with it, but I never had to worry again about losing a job because I had healed the issue that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't deserve things, and that came through my efforts of work. And it's that empowerment that I want to give to other people. I want you to know that you're really worthy of having all the good things in your life. You're really worthy of having those things that uh, pave the path to freedom and higher consciousness. So when we struggle with the idea that we are um, somebody's cursing us or somebody's done something wrong to us, we have to look inward. So the shadow work is not about doing the deep dark, go underground and see what the ugly is. You already know the ugly. The shadow work is actually about bringing it out in the light so that you can be accountable for it. I talk about this in the metaphysics class of Johari's window, and I'll give you this is a perfect example. The first window in Johari's window, this was two psychiatrists that got together and they said, this is how most people relate. The first window is how you view other people or and how they view you, just the topical stuff. Like I'm wearing a blue shirt, my fingernails are painted blue. They're pointed blue. They're painted blue. Whatever it is that you're seeing on the surface of me and that I see on the surface of you. It could be, oh, they're wearing plaid or, they're wearing tennis shoes, whatever. They, have sunglasses on. They must be coming in from out of the sun. Those things are the first window, just the basic what you see in people as they go passing by you. Family, friends, strangers, it doesn't matter. The second window is those things that you aren't seeing, but other people do. And I tell this, I know when I transition, I go to spirit, my mother's going to go, really? You had to use me as the example every time? Absolutely, because it's a funny story. When we would go over for the holidays, we'd have a wonderful time, but she'd get tired. And so she'd start looking at the clock and she'd make that noise and look at the clock and look at us. And the kids are like, it's time for us to go, Mom. And I'd say, yeah, but let's irritate her a little. Let's wait just a few minutes. Or otherwise, sometimes we just said, yeah, she's tired. Let's let her have her rest. But these are the tales that we have that we don't always recognize is our way of sending messages, but other people, our friends, our close family, people that really know us understand. So the third window is the window of our hopes and fears. And sometimes our hopes and fears are absolutely the very same thing. And in those hopes and fears, you may hope that you have a beautiful home, but you're thinking, oh my gosh, if I had this beautiful home that was 2,500 square feet, I'd have to clean that. So maybe I fear that larger home. Maybe it comes with marble floors and I'm afraid I'm such a klutz I'll slip and fall. Or, oh my gosh, it's going to come with carpet and I'm going to have to vacuum that entire floor all the time. There's so many negatives that we put for everything that we want to do or we think we want. So our hopes and fears, even so far as I hope that I have the courage to do the work of spirit that I'm supposed to be doing. Every one of us has the ability to do the work of spirit. Every one of us is doing it. Your light, that love that you send out to everybody, that is what's drawing and changing the world. That's what's reaching into the collective consciousness. But we fear that we're not going to be good enough. We fear that nobody will hear us. It doesn't matter if people hear your words. What matters is that you're doing the work. You're radiating the hope that you have out there. And to really create it, to create the things that you really want, you need to feel it. You need to send it out in a way that you have that passion. If you want a new relationship, if you want to heal an old relationship, and I'm not talking just about lovers or husbands and wives, children, I'm talking about any relationship. If you want to go to work and be peaceful, but that coworker and you had a disagreement last week, reaching in with your entire heart center, letting it emanate out from you is how you're going to get that done. you're going to go out and you're going to feel that positivity and you're going to create that back to you. So there's not a competition. It's not a competition. There's many of my friends that teach the same things that I do. And you know what's beautiful about that? They're reaching the people they're supposed to reach. If you're teaching the same things that I am, it must be worthy of being taught. We're going to light that world up together. We're going to send it out, and we're going to realize a better future for ourselves and everybody else. There is no competition in this work, not if you're really doing the work. There is no benefit to working as a soul practitioner of light, because then you're just an ego. This is about being a community of practitioners for the light that sends it out. So that gets us to the fourth window. You know, the 4 window panes. Bing, 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 bing. The fourth window is it's what's hidden from us. And those things are where our DNA triggers are. That's where our health and any disease is. That's where our potentialities lie. If you can look at your first window and you can say, well, I look good enough to go outside and walk down the street. You know, my shoes are tied, my hair is brushed, my clothes are clean or dirty, doesn't matter. If you can walk out the door that way, then you can get to the second window that says, wow, maybe I'm ready to start looking at those tails. I watch people all the time. My niece had Tourette's, and so she ticked and she'd roll her eyes. And so many people would take that as a like she was rolling their eyes at them and taking it personal. And we have to learn what is it that we're seeing in somebody else that bothers us, so that we recognize our own failings and our own fears. And that's what that second window is about. It's about seeing your tails. And the only way we have to do that is by looking at each other. So you open that window, you have one solid window and you have 2 smaller ones. So then after you're really able to look through that, you look at the third window. And in that third window of your hopes and fears, you can start recognizing that you're going to bring forth everything in the moment now, that you shouldn't hope to put it out there. You need to hope to bring it in heart center. And that's where your meditation becomes so very important, because it's the conversation, it's prayers, the questions, it's the asking. Meditation is the ability to listen to the answer. And if you're able to get out of those first 2 windows and get into that third window, you can see a more vibrant world. You can start connecting with the human within you, and you can be so much more powerful and have so much more to give and be validated by the fact that you're really doing the work of spirit. You're not arguing with somebody because you fear their judgment. You're loving that person because they're validating the beauty within you. And when you hear that and you allow yourself to truly feel the person who is actually validating you with their heart center and their love, you're going to make yourself so much more happy. You're going to see such a different world. And at that point, your potentialities, your gifts of spirit, your health, your awareness, your connection to source is all going to start manifesting. When I sit in meditation, I sit and I think, okay, I just need to empty my mind of anything, any judgment, any opinion, because that's what a judgment is. It's an opinion that you have made fact in order to become a judgment. And you can let go of all of that and just sit in the beauty of the moment and feel that energy resonate. When you get there, source can talk to you. Your spirit teachers have a cleaner ability to get through to you. These are the things that are important. These are the things that will tell you the truth of how the world really is and what we're really doing. The collective conscious has shifted into the light's favor. We have left centuries of negativity, centuries of control, centuries of handing it over to, call it the cabal, call it the reptilian, call it evil aliens, call it the devil. I don't really care. Whatever word you feel for the negative, because I just think of it as the negative, because it doesn't matter if it has a face. Negative is negative. And go into the positive aspects where you're not cursing people, where you're not blaming people, where you're walking in peace with your own power. That's the area in which you feel you can connect, and source can talk to you. Your spirit team can get behind you. You'll see them as they'll come to you as spirit teachers, spirit guides, angels, aliens, mist, raccoons, skunks. Skunks were at my house for a long time. They even had a message for me. I was actually one of the safe environments for them to live in. I didn't like it and I had to get rid of them, but that's okay. I'd been here just as long as many of those have. But the fact of it is that we have that time that we are here. And we have this time that we showed up. We agreed to be in this moment, to watch this time in Earth's history make that shift into higher consciousness. But we didn't come just to watch. We came to participate and to lend our hearts to it. So however you can do that, however it works for you, however you need that song to be sung, play it loud, crank up your stereo, feel that light emanate from you. Just bring it in through the top of your head. Fill your heart center. Let it, even if you have to artificially, when I say artificially, is imagine the person or animal that you love the most being in front of you, so that you're expressing that love and you send that love out to the world. You're doing the world a lot of good as you're putting it in the more positive light. We will shift this paradigm. We will get rid of all the negative experiences that the dark side is trying to create. And we're here for that light. We're here to make a difference. I'm ready to do it with people that work at the center. I'm ready to do it with you. We have an open meditation. Anybody in Albuquerque can come to. It's going to be on Wednesday nights starting next week from 5 till 7. You can come in at 5 and leave at 5:30. You can come in if you get off work at 5:30. You can come in at 6 and stay till 7. There is no set time. We're just going to have chairs set up. Just come in with and remember that it's the light that we're bringing. So we're going to just build that light together. It's always easier to meditate together. There's no charge for this. I'm not going to say no to a donation, but that's not the point. The point is that we're bringing the light. That's what I want most people to understand. I want everyone to understand, is that it's about building the light and community together. It isn't about ego. Nobody's going to teach you how to meditate. Yes, I do have a meditation course. Brother Francis teaches meditation. You can join one of those if you want to improve your skill set, but this is the time to practice, to put it to use. It's about Wednesday nights being the time that you set aside to meet with a group of people, to bring forth positivity for your week, to grow light consciousness, and to be together from this moment until forever, because we are the light. Every one of us, no matter how vile of a person that we are, or what we played out with, whether, serial killer or not, they're still from the light. They're still from source. They don't need to be feared because they're not going to bring that to you. That's not what you incarnated to experience. So think about joining us. I'd love to have you there. If you have any questions or anything, you can always reach out and give me a call, 505-453-7646. Or you can just email me, Michelle at resonantessentials.com. Or you can message me here on Facebook. We have a great team of board members that are happy to answer your questions as to the best of their ability, whatever the questions are. We all work together to get it out there. So I will say this. You can go to our website, resonantessentials.com. Go to board members, click on the board member, and then you can go in and um, just email any one of us, whatever it is. My heart to all of yours. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I think you're all amazing, and I thank you for being in my life. We'll talk to you soon. My heart to yours. Bye for now.